Okay, welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Cigar Talk. This is episode number 12, where we keep it real, we keep it funky, we talk about real topics with real people. All right, so welcome back, everybody. It's been a lot going on lately, right? So I think one of the topics I personally want to talk about, I want to see how y'all feel about the new Apple Vision Pro. I have my thoughts. I want to see what y'all thoughts on it is.
Oh no, I'm still trying to get my I mean, I know in general, like, we're all going to all digital,
Yeah.
more personable, with site experience. So I'm really just trying to get my hold on it. Because I know, like I said, there's a whole, immerse yourself into the experience,
hmm
mode now. So for that 3,500, whew. But that's an investment. But to put yourself into the experience of,
You
of
don't
the
think
actual TV show or the video you're watching, that's cool.
you don't think it's worth 3,500?
I mean, but listen, you ask me, sure, if I can get it from Ross or Marshall, right, I go grab it. But if y'all grab it, I'll be sure to look through it. But it's nice though. It's like state of the art per usual. Took them some years, but Apple always cutting edge against everybody else. So it'll be cool.
I think Apple has the opportunity to do something big because they kind of like they're not the first to come out with the type of goggles, but the type of programs that's accessible on these goggles. They the first of their kind or whatever. They kind of taking its first step into a virtual world while still existing in the physical world. Because if you like look at some of the videos they put out or whatever, like they trying to basically set it up in a world where these are everyday glasses, like you wearing them throughout the day, because you still able to go and check out at Ross or something like that while still having access to your Apple Pay through your goggles and all that stuff like that or whatever, which I think is going to be a big thing. Um, for me personally, I think it'll be a big thing. It's like I see television is kind of losing a value over a period of time with you able to have access to projecting movies through the goggles. That's going to be a big thing, and you can take it anywhere you go. So you factor that in. It's I don't know if anybody had the experience of like buying movies on planes and stuff like that, but like it's expensive, and you paying for little small screens there, and now you can project and take up the whole airplane and be minding your business. So um, I think from a entertainment and just a technology progression perspective or whatever, I think they ahead of the game, man. Like I think they'll be able to justify early on 3,500. And I think the product is initially gonna be for people that's like technology heads. I think they'll do the same thing with the iPhones, because if you think about the iPhones, when they first came out, they were expensive for your average person. Once they kind of got control of the market, they came out with different versions of the iPhone and different accessories and stuff like that. And I can see that happening with the Vision Pro as well. So
No, for real.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the precedent of what's been said for most companies. When you look at the Tesla Roadster and things of that nature, like it's normally to the higher elite demographic, especially starting off because it's like a one-of-one type product. Like a guy I follow, Jason Calacanis, huge investor. He blabs about, I got the first Tesla, one of the first Teslas when they were very expensive and and it was a sports car. So these are some other things where it's like, you have the first mobile phone in your car, and that thing was like maybe $3,000, where now mobile phones are more accessible. And so it's kind of like following suit with Google Glass and then also the Apple product. So it's right in line with that, man. I think that, we're right on line with what Chris said is simply immersion. It's part of why I created my product and why I wanted to carefully articulate what I wanted as well is immersiveness. You look at games like Ready Player One and also the book Snow Crash. It talks about, having this not only dystopian, but like a world where you can visualize and sense the five senses and then also have like a five-dimensional experience. So I think Apple is right on core with that, and so are many other products. And I'm kind of excited to see uh, what this world will look like in the next 10 years because I'm a contributor to that. So all this does is further enhance technology and push it forward to the next millennium.
Facts. Facts.
I thought I watched Dwayne Johnson. It's kind of like a pivot, no pun intended, but really. I watched finally got to watch Dwayne Johnson on the pivot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting because they kind of manifested that. I remember Kevin Hart was there, and it was like, "Can you get our guy DJ?" And it was like, "I don't know, man. I'll see." And it was kind of lobbying for him, and then here comes Dwayne Johnson. He's on the show, but he
Yeah.
talked about this, his seven bucks experience, and it's pretty interesting when you like get to hear like this dude, like not only is he a huge TV star and
Mm-hmm.
he's quick to talk about his ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
but also like the story behind only having $7. Like he was doing at one point, I think wrestling gigs for $40 a night. And like and like that's crazy, man. Like $40 right now, like you getting kicked out the house.
Yeah.
But like he said, part of the other reasons that he would do it for is like, you would have cameos and autographs after the fights with fans, and then that's how you make your additional $10 per I guess picture or autograph and something like that. So man, I thought that was pretty interesting, man. That's something I had got to watch this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I know you're gonna be the next pivot, or if not bigger, Avery. So I thought go ahead and look at the indirect competition. But I love that show and I love ours as well, especially Avery doing the damn thing as always.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. You know?
Um, definitely shout out to the Pivot Show. Like I think one of the biggest assets and things they did when they created that show was bringing in Ryan Clark. I don't know if y'all watch him as he interviews people, but he has a really powerful skill set of helping people tell their own story. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't care how good you are on your end, when you bring people in, if they not like just set like experience with media and stuff like that, it could be challenging for him. But he has a way to slowing everything down for them and like allowing them to tell their story in a respectful manner. So I think, and then he has a great story within itself. If you ever get a chance to check it out, how he went undrafted and stuff like that. And I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. Like it's no question about it or whatever. So another thing I wanted to talk about. So for me, I never saw myself doing this. I didn't think I was gonna be one of those people, but it was May 26th. I was sitting out on my balcony like an old man drinking coffee and looking at plants. And God said, I need you to give a meat. Pause, no pun intended. And I was like, what, God? So I don't think I can do that. But June 1st, your boy started his pescatarian diet. So
Okay.
I don't really have no timeline of or deadline or when I'm gonna stop or take a break from it. I'm just kind of like going with the flow right now. Kind of like paying attention to my body and seeing how my mind is. So right now it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. So just seeing what's working for me as far as like dieting. It can get challenging when you have a pregnant wife in here who appetite is a little different than mine. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You say you
How
want
how was it? How was it initially? Like, what did your system go through a little shock, or because I mean, you barely eat semi healthy anyway, so it was it like no, like for me, if I was to do a cold check the
so
next day, I'm sure I'll be.
I think for me, preparation is the biggest thing. So the only time I struggle is like most of the time I don't prepare dinner. Like I'm good with like breakfast and lunch. Dinner, I have something I might have to think about. I might go out to eat with my wife or something like that. So that's when it gets kind of challenging. Especially here in Japan. Japan, they like meat here. Like so it's no question about it or whatever. So like normally I like have to find kind of an alternative, like, hey man, let me get that ramen, hold the chicken. You know what I mean? Like, so it's doable. You know what I mean? It's doable.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, so
And I feel your pain, brother. Well, it's a beautiful pain because one, like you working within divine creation, and then you letting those juices and energy flow.
yeah.
And like I was telling him off camera, like that's something I had to go back to with juicing, man. Like, cause I was just like uh so dehydrated at times, so uninspired, and then most importantly, I just kept having like these low energy level thoughts.
Hmm.
And Red Bull was fueling half 90% of what I was doing. It was almost like I was on autopilot. I was like,
Hmm.
man, this is not me, man. Like, what do we got to do, man? And Juice came calling, so I try to like periodically do the best I can with Juice. But like he said, like the biggest thing is preparation. It's like if we go out of town or if my wife wants something and she just really craving it at that particular point, I have to try to find like when I'm gonna recover to make juice or when am I gonna start implementing juice so that I can continue to do what I need to do for success on this track or journey. So yeah,
Thanks.
I think it's just it's a beautiful thing, but it's just another way to try to enrich your life. Um, uh, Basically, you just they always say that they use this notion: the rich get richer and the poor get poor. Well, that's not true. Everybody always gets rich when the rich get richer. Because going back to when you were talking about the VR glasses, yeah, we can't afford the things now, but it's kinks in them to where they don't even work as good right now anyway.
Thanks.
So you would be better waiting on the next version to pop out and come out because they're gonna get better,
That's
and then
fact.
they're gonna start selling it to other companies that have better designers and better thinkers than they do. So that's why you have so many brands of the same thing come out, and then you'll have an option to choose. But going to like fast forward that or to tie it into this, information is the same way. The elite have all the information, so when it drizzles down to us, we get it and use it. So we can get richer too. We can have a higher quality of life too. You following like trying to give up meat is just trying to enhance your life. That's an enrichment. It's a different type of enrichment, but it's an enrichment. So, and then like if y'all get hungry, do the best thing. Don't eat. If you get into a situation where it ain't nothing for you, don't eat. Because now you disciplining yourself.
That's facts.
Because you just like, oh, I gotta find. No, you don't have to find an alternative. Sit there and don't eat. Take it and be like, oh, what can I do? You just used to eating all the time. We
Mhm.
used to eat that. We not even
We
supposed
spoil.
to
That's all it is. We spoil.
yeah, we not even supposed to be eating 3, 4, 5 times a day like that.
That's facts.
What
Yeah.
what kind of training are you putting your mind through is what you doing.
Mm.
man, it was a book that I think it was by Robert A. Russell that talked about that. It was like if you're running late for work, don't speed. If you feel like that you need to eat, don't be over glutinous. If you late, just don't eat.
Hmm.
And it was like, the powers of the subconscious mind is that we tend to overthink and overcomplicate things when it's really simple. Just don't act, and
Hmm.
act in a sense of self-awareness and self-reflection. Like you already have those things and then your body naturally becomes more relaxed and then you have them. So I think like being hungry is a trick within like the subconscious mind and the psyche in itself. Is like, man, I'm hungry. Oh my God, I gotta eat. And the fact that I'm scrambling so much, it's like I need to eat more now because I waited too long. So it's like just chill, take a chill pill. We'll eat whenever, and then the body's like, all right, bro, you win for the day. I'll
That's
eat
facts.
whenever.
That's facts. Because I was one of those people that just like, oh man, I can't function if I don't get no breakfast in the morning. But that's something I done created in my mind. Like, like it's just interesting or whatever. Like, we kind of adopt poor habits. You know what I mean? Like, But I mean, it's up to us to take accountability and kind of catch it and like, wait a minute, I need to take control of my mind back. Boy,
Yeah.
Peterson talk about that all the time.
Yeah, that's somebody else's philosophy.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that we think are somebody else's philosophy.
Mhm.
So really might just be following your own intuition that you should have been doing a long time ago, trying to eat. That may not even
Yeah.
be you eating 3 times a day like that. Now you getting into it with yourself. That's why they tell you take time out and meditate,
Mhm.
because you a higher thought pattern. You're trying to reach lofty thoughts, have heavenly thoughts, beautiful thoughts. That's how you get a beautiful life. But
Reverend
that
Jonathan strikes again.
nah, I'm just that fasting. It puts you in like a different. You can really think clearly when you fasting, and I'm not. You know, I read a lot, so like they were saying, they was comparing to when you get sick, the body is fasting. Like the body, nobody wants to eat when they get sick. So how do you
Facts.
cleanse out your body when you're not sick? Fast.
Mhm. That's facts.
So you always
That's
cleansing your body.
that's even like if you have to get a medical procedure or whatever, like you have to fast prior to.
Come
You
on,
get
man.
something that's to your body. You have to
Man,
fast.
come on, man. And they don't tell you to take a break from food. So what they trying to do to you? Man, you pull a trigger on your own self.
Yeah.
Hey man, y'all didn't tell me we was every Sunday service. I don't my collection plate, you know. Oh man.
That that I mean, time you eat, why do you think? Okay, so when you eat, especially if you eat heavy,
Mhm.
beef, rice, mashed potato, anything heavy, you
Mhm.
get your digestive system uses up more energy to digest everything in your body. That's why you get sleepy.
Mhm.
So if you really think fast with a clear mind, don't eat because you're not using up no energy.
All right,
You say,
I got one for you, Jonathan. So you know how like when people take medication, you know in a bottle where they say most of the time, say please take with
Take with
food.
food.
You think that's tied together?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and see, like right now, what we discussing, I got one idea, you got an idea, Ricky, Chris got an idea. That is how products are made. So yeah, those glasses, going back to the glasses, those glasses, yeah, it's okay. They might be 3,500, but give it 1 year. Give it one. Everybody, everybody
Yeah,
on this thing will have them.
that's facts. Yeah,
Give it one.
yeah. Because we
When
joked
they
about, because you gotta
rest of
think like yeah,
yeah.
we joked about the iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, I ain't getting that. What I need that for? Everybody has an iPhone or something along the
So
line.
that Galaxy shit. Only two phone people
You
got
know?
that Galaxy
Yeah,
also.
yeah. So you have some version of it, or whatever. And just think about where we came from. We came from beepers and pay phones, the big car phone. You know what I mean? Like,
Snake on a Nokia though.
right.
But Avery,
Remember that blue one you had every
the key part that
Yeah.
makes Apple is the systems that they have. Nobody can
Yeah.
ever touch the systems. I
Yeah.
don't know what they got thinking over there, but
I
they
t-
just got
I'm
stuff
telling
that ain't
y'all, hey,
to come with FaceTime.
hey, I'm telling y'all, like that's the greatest company I've ever been
And
able to see while I've been alive. You know what I mean? I'm no Warren Buffett, but I'm just saying, like, if you ain't getting no, like, this is not investment advice, but if you not putting some of your money in
this
Apple,
money,
you're gonna miss out. I'm telling you, like it's like for real, like it's one of the best companies I've seen. I like Microsoft too or whatever, but it's a technology company. Like I can't even call them just a technology company, like because they gonna be tied into everything when you think about health cars. Like I'm not gonna go off on a tangent, but back to what Jonathan was saying, like yeah, man,
right. Oh,
man.
but you better get you some goddamn Apple sponsorship. You do you possibly get
Hey.
See, goddamn it. We trying to get some 20% dividends, goddamn it. You gonna be lobbying. Yeah.
All right. So, first question of the day, right? So we all trying to reach our own version of success.
Mhm.
What are two critical tools that you believe are necessary to reach success and why?
Mhm.
Um,
Uh,
I think the first one is don't quit.
Hmm.
Don't quit. It's a simple one, but a lot of people quit.
Mm-hmm.
Even you can put this with anything. You want the woman of your dreams? Don't quit. If you see her and you hassle a woman that don't give you no play, and don't run, walk her down every day. Same thing. I got this big dream. I'm trying to say, 25, 100,000, or invest this much in a property. If you do something every day and walk it down, just walk it down and don't quit. That's automatically gonna get you there. It don't matter if you the slowest person or the fastest person. Not quitting will always get you there.
I like
I
that one.
think, yeah, I think that's really
That's,
probably the
that's,
one.
yeah, that's going when I do mine at the end, but you basically saying the same thing I'm gonna say, so but
yeah,
definitely.
like one of them, like you said, is the don't quit, the persistent. When they always hit the diaphragm. When you're mining and hitting the rock, it'd be like, oh well, I'm just done. I'm about to quit. And then it's just that little more space to be like, bro, you close. It feel like you're close, but that persistence of don't quit and the relationship of and the act of human resources, bro. Like even with me, I tell Ricky all the time. I say, man, I know I'm not gonna reach my magnum opus until your greatest weakness. You go through your greatest weakness. And my greatest weakness is not asking for help. So I know human resource, like even if you're bouncing ideas with somebody or anything of that nature, or even you got two or three people on the same page, looking at the same goal, it just radiates, infinitely through, what I'm saying, through the same people looking through the same goals. So I think human resource, having somebody else going through it or give you a new perspective on your goals is like important to for me. So yeah.
Facts.
Mm,
Facts.
Yeah,
I,
I would say mine is actually three. It's really boiled down to two. I would say health, wealth, and a balanced life. It's probably one of the things that I had to struggle with for quite some time, man. But all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Uh, and I know Chris tells me tells me a lot about that because he's seen me power through so much. And then I get to later or in my 30s, it's like, man, I can't power through these kind of obstacles. You kind of gotta go outside, walk the dog, smell the breeze, and look at the forest and the trees and stuff. And it's like you get some kind of weird thought or inspiration. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's what I was missing. And then you go back inside and you can complete the task. And you can't do too much without health, but health and wealth are interchangeable because, wealth is health. And so, if you just take your mind to a place to where you have like a higher state of consciousness or you're eating healthier at a higher level, then you're attracting wealth. Wealth is not just a monetary value, it's an energy value. So energy and money and resources are interchangeable. So I think that when you're in seek or searching for success, the higher states or a higher more positively that you think, it's easier to attract certain things. And I think that, going outside, meeting interesting people, talking to friends and family and having a good time helps beget those types of things, which equals success.
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, that's good.
I
So
think the second one, my bad, Avery. I'm sorry.
no,
You
go ahead.
going?
All right, bro, you got it.
I, I would think the second one is knowing what you want. How can you be successful if you don't know what you want?
Mhm.
Like that, and that's a basic one, but you'll look over that.
Facts.
And a lot of people don't know what they want. That's why you should. I always ask my daughters, "What you want?" I don't know. How you going you need to know what you want because somebody might come along and be like, "Oh, I got this money. What you want?" And you're not gonna be ready. You
Hmm.
gotta be, if you know what you want at all times,
Yeah.
it'll come to you, regardless if you have the money or if you don't have the money. But just simply knowing what you want, it'll come to you. Just even on a fluke, you'll walk around and find it on the ground, or
Yeah.
your parents buy it for you,
Yeah.
or somebody might send it to you. But knowing what you want, I think that's the other half to it.
Mhm.
Because you can't be successful if you don't know what you want.
Facts. That's facts. So my first one would have to be fail forward. So I try to get because it really is failure, but I try to change the narrative on the word because I don't believe it to be a bad thing. Just looking at personal experiences of my own life, you failing forward. Like you got to go through those experiences. Like I think this social media area has got us caught in and wanting to be like Michael Jordan, but they would want to be the 6 for 6 Michael Jordan. But nobody want to be the Michael Jordan that got kicked off the team in high school because he was an undersized point guard. The skill
Mm.
set was still there. You know what I mean? And like his belief was still there, but he had to keep going or whatever. Like nobody believed until he got to North Carolina. You know what I mean? He hitting game winning shots. And then everybody like, he's great. He was great before then. You know what I mean? So I think just the idea of failing forward, like doing those things, like stepping out on that ledge and just like, I'm just gonna go for it. Like I'm just gonna do it. Like I don't have the experience, but I know in my heart of hearts, like this is what I want to do. And I'm gonna take that first step forward. And you probably gonna get judged for it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be people gonna say you shouldn't be doing this. They probably give you 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't do it. But as long as you can give yourself 5 or why you can, that's all that matters. Like and y'all was talking about it earlier. Jonathan was saying why you're doing it. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to have something to stand behind why you're doing what you're doing. And that's all that matters. Like a lot of the people we look at, we get to see them in their success or whatever, but like that journey is overlooked when you look at your Kevin Hart's and all these people or whatever. Like we just think it happened for them overnight, but we were like somebody was telling these people like they were horrible at what this is horrible at what you're doing, but they just kept going, just fell forward, fell forward, fell forward. My second one I would have to say would have to be I'm gonna have to give a slash on this one. So it's gonna be networking slash listening. It's not enough to be surrounded around the people that can push you to your own version of greatness, but you have to be open to the idea of how they're gonna critique you as well. Because the stuff you need to hear is not the stuff you always want to hear. And I know that from personal experience, like you got to be willing to be critiqued or whatever, because you networking and saying, I want to be in this certain area. So you surround yourself with people who's already done it or whatever. The criticism could be harsh sometimes or whatever, but the ability to listen and take in that information and grow from it, I think is very big, very, very big. Networking is so important. I think I didn't really understand it until like I was like got involved in like network marketing. I think I'm very much an introverted person or whatever, but there's no way you can be in that field without getting out and talking to people, getting comfortable, getting uncomfortable, and talking to people you don't know. But one of the most important details I learned through that experience is all you need is something you believe in. If you have something you believe in, so if you believe in yourself that heavily, you get comfortable being around, networking with those people and listening and trusting in what those people have to say. So I think those would be my two: to fail forward, networking slash listening.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I think to go piggyback off of what you said, like like I always sought out network. Like man, like they say LeBron is a mercenary. It's like man, if he was a mercenary, I was a savant at it. Like I would specifically seek out people that I can network for my own profitable gain until I started reading the book Never Eat Alone. And it really changed like my perception on like having interchangeable currency known as energy, where it's like, not only was I asking for a favor, but it was like the Benjamin Franklin effect, where I was giving this person something before I ever even asked. And in return, it was like, man, I like talking to this person. Here's a favor from me. Can I have a favor from you? And then keeping that close relationship with that person. That changed my whole philosophy on networking. And I think networking is key. If people haven't read that book, Never Eat Alone, like it is monumental to how like we should not only treat humans, but change our mindset on like interacting with other humans and getting to know humans on an interpersonal level.
Right.
Never eat alone. Gotcha.
That's a good one. I second that read. That's an excellent book.
All right. So moving forward, so over the recent years, the cost of continued education, college in specific, has almost doubled. Based on what you believe, should we still be encouraging the youth to go to college?
Oh man, let me hit this one first because I'm so super biased on this one. Because fire, I about a fire. But you know, it's ways around that. But I've been burned. So let me answer the question and then let me gather my evidence.
Okay.
I don't think. No, it's not worth going to college unless you're specifically going for something that needs college. Doctor, pharmacy, psychologist, you know, those things that take a lot of study. Yeah, but to make it in life and the average person, which is, okay, so if the numbers might be wrong, but most of it is true. Only 20%, if I'm saying it right, of the US or the world has a degree. 80% of the world doesn't, or the US doesn't have a degree. So no, it's not worth going to college. Now you can go 2-year and get you a trade. That is a better fit for the average person. 2 years, and it's affordable. And you can gather many skills by going 2 years rather than going 4, putting all your energy in one just to get there and be like, I don't even like this. And you can't even make no money if you don't finish. But that 2-year, you're definitely focused specifically on that field. And even if you didn't make it, you would have enough to transition from teenager to a life skill to at least afford to live.
Yeah.
You can't even afford to live. You halfway in debt, you can't even afford to live after 2-3 years of college, and you didn't have a degree, and you still have no skill.
Yep. And that's the support that the kid that comes out and goes into a trade school and learns a skill. They start off earlier in the work world. So by the time that person that graduates college, they still have to start at an entry-level job. That other person is kind of ahead of the game from a financial standpoint as far as moving forward in their field or whatever. So and the
experience.
Yeah.
They a lot of things. The real world experience is the richness. Oh, I can tell you this because I didn't experience this. I didn't failed at this. I didn't did this. This didn't work. Like ahead of the game.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rick.
No, go ahead.
And I think like man, it's like a rabbit hole we can go down with this. I think so I think the presentation of how school is presented to us is wrong. You know what I mean?
Nice. That's nice.
It's presented in a sense of, because I don't think the biggest benefit is getting a job, because they can't guarantee that to us. I think colleges need to focus on the guarantees. We just talked about one of them. It was networking. The ability to learn a skill, because this is a skill. Doing something you don't want to do to get something that you do want to do. Most people don't want to do all that homework. Most of us can't see the benefits of writing 14-page essays unless you're a journalist. You know what I mean? We don't understand the need of formulas because most of us won't use past multiplication and division or whatever. So like I think the idea of like networking, um, like being able to endure and persevere or whatever, because like you said it earlier, Jonathan, like if you're not going into being a doctor in the medical field, and then that's even still like you got to be careful with that, right? So like you got to make sure that that's what you want to do, because if you look, like it's one debt that hasn't that probably won't never be paid down in our lifetime. And that's the financial aid realm, and I don't even think it's designed to. Most people can't pay that off. Most people just paying the minimum and just getting by. Most people will never be able to purchase a home because they got $100,000 in student loans,
Yep.
can't get a home.
Yep.
And I'm biased in a sense because like if my child is like, if they don't plan on, even if they plan on being a doctor, I'm gonna give them their options, right? So I'm gonna say like so why not get it for free? You can sacrifice 4 years and you can go to school for 4 years if you join the military. That's the option for you. Because my problem with that idea is the debt part of it. I
Yeah.
think it's a setback for us to be starting off someone that young with debt. On top of that, we approve them for every credit card in the world too. Because if you look at it and you can look up the numbers or whatever, that's when most of us accrue most of our credit card debt. Like the system is set up for us to fail or whatever. They're gonna give us all these student loans. They're gonna give you more than you need. And then they're gonna let you apply for all the credit cards. So you got 5 credit cards, you got $80,000 in student loan debt. I just don't think the system is set up for us to fail, but it's on us to like make them adjustments. Like I'm not gonna blame the system, but it's on us to make the adjustments.
So I'll really back in a bit. When it comes to schooling, there's two questions that needs to be asked. Is it passion or is it persistence? Because you persistently go from grades 1 through 12 and then 13 through 16 or 12 through 16. And that's persistence. And if it's passion, somewhere along the lines, you look at like most Ivy League or prestigious schools, most people tend to drop out within the first 2 years and go do big tech. I thought it was interesting that one of my family members that I got from my in-laws, she got she's a doctor. And so she said, I want to open my own practices. So when you put that into perspective, say for instance, a Kelsey Siebold, can you actually teach that in school? Where you say, I'm a doctor, but now let's open up franchises of other institutions and attach my name to it. That is entrepreneurial. So yeah. I think there's a fine line between passion and persistence. So if it were me and my children had the opportunity and I said, what is your premise for going to school? They said, well, I want to be better and I want to make money. So no, you want to network. And so that's why you see most kids from predominantly white or suburban areas go to Harvard Business School and then they wind up on Wall Street, or you go to Stanford, because it allows you the opportunity to network within those first 2 years.
You said it
and
right
then you
there.
can just leave.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But it just depends on what is the upbringing of the child. I was always taught that become an engineer like at the age of 8 or 9, and like my thought process was why, and my dad's response was to make money and that my family could be comfortable because we were poor. I had no passion whatsoever to be an engineer, so I rebelled. Funny enough, several years later, I do 50% of my work is engineering. So it just depends, man, on the upbringing, but also like what are the environment surrounding the child and what processes and thought patterns are they being instilled with. If I had to do it, I would be self-taught because the top 5% of the people that I know that are either wealthy or high net worth, most of them were self-taught individuals. And that's why YouTube is so predominant and is one of the top 10 companies in the Fortune 500 today, along with being associated with Google. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It just
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah. And I think especially like it's amongst our culture, I think we get caught up in the accolades, right? So I think like, cause like I see it all the time or whatever, like people like getting their masters and stuff like that. Like I got a master's in this and I got a doctorate in this or whatever. Like, but for me, like, I don't know, things gotta be cause and effect for me. Like I gotta be doing something to know that it's gonna translate to this or whatever. Like I don't know what it translates to if I'm a teacher and I got a doctorate, how does that translate? You get what I'm saying? Like I'm in a field that has a small window as far as the education system and what they're willing to pay you from that side or whatever. Like, but like the risk to reward, is it worth it? Like,
Before we go to the next topic, I want to talk about that. So I was literally pursuing my master's in architecture, and people ask me this all the time. They say, well, why are you working like these auditing jobs and building a company? Why are
mm-hmm,
you working here if you got an architecture degree?
mm-hmm,
I said, it's interesting. We need to talk more about money. I
mm-hmm,
was in my undergraduate class and
Hey,
I started masters. I started masters and I was on like my sixth cup of coffee.
mm-hmm.
And I said, like, just straight up, I said, hey, yo, man. He said, what's up, Rick? I said, how much money we gonna make when we get out of here? And for a person to say that while they're still in school, and everybody was looking like they had, like I had escaped the matrix, and they were like, I was disrupting the process. No, I'm serious because like I'm tired of this shit. How much money we gonna make when we get out of here? And then this dude, he was like 30 when we were like 22, 23. He said, you ain't learned? You ain't heard? I said, what? He said, man, architects don't make no money coming out. I said, what do you mean no money? No six figures, no seven figures? He said, no, man. With you like 10 to 12 years, you will. Sorry, architects. Um, I said, I quit. I just quit. No, I just didn't. I started trailblazing my own path as an entrepreneur. A lot of my classmates, they're either doing like real estate now, selling the real estate, being an agent, or they're on their third or fourth company as an architect, trying to figure out how they can branch off entrepreneurially.
Yeah, say you don't need a 4-year degree to sell homes.
no.
It just boils down to like, uh, it's not about the egg, whatever that saying is. It's not about. It's about the water. The water boils the egg at the same temperature, whatever the boil of egg. Old people always say that shit. But anyway, it takes the same amount of water to boil a hard egg as it does a soft potato. It's about what you made.
Yeah, that boy trying to say the kettle black with the black kettle.
Early as shit,
I thought we was talking. I didn't know what was going on. I thought we was asking which came first, the chicken or the egg. I was trying to figure out.
but like,
You know what I'm talking about?
it takes the same amount of degrees to boil a hard egg as it does a soft potato. It's all about what you.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there, man.
Yeah.
Chris, you know that saying's on UPG wall, man, when you walk in there before you go to the restroom, bro. But yeah, bro, it's just crazy, man. Like we can literally be working ourselves to death for no particular reason other than reason itself until somebody says, hey man, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to flex because I got 5 master's degrees and no job. I was supposed to flex because, man, you didn't go to school, but I graduated college and I'm a first generation student and I got $90,000 in student loans debt now.
And I think that's a narrative that we got to break. Like our parents and parents like were telling us like, hey, you should go to college because it's gonna make you because it's gonna make you a lot of money and make you a better person. And for me, I was the smart mouth kid or whatever, and I was just like, well, why you gonna do it? Like, boy, shut up, just do what I tell you to do. Then why you ain't, if you know the answer to the test? Why you ain't applying it? Like, I don't understand. So like I always question certain things or whatever. Like I might not been able to like justified at the time or whatever, but I would always ask why or whatever. Like I think millennials and the Gen Zers or whatever, like we asking why now or whatever. So like I think that's a big thing to get into a solution or whatever. I think it's a narrative that wasn't set up. I don't think it was intentional, right? Like when our parents were telling us to go and get this education, they just assumed that they just thought that us furthering learning would reap some benefits for us or whatever. But I think now, looking at it now, whatever, I think it's hurt more of us than it's helped most of us or whatever, especially when you factor in getting degrees in fields that you may not even be using a degree in, the amount of student loan debt that's out of this world. Like, it's kind of like weigh your pros and cons. And like Jonathan said and Ricky said earlier, whatever, like if you're going in a specific field and you're passionate about being a doctor and that's where you're at, then yeah, but at the same time, that's a small percentage compared to everybody who like going out at getting. And this is no talking down on nobody degree, but like getting 4-year art degrees and stuff like that or whatever. Like I just like I don't see how it translates.
Wait a minute, motherfucker. I was pursuing my heart. No, let me. Hey,
I'm gonna get some negative comments later on.
I agree. I agree to some extent, though, man.
You said, and this is what we was trying to do. Ricky said we got to talk about money more because that's the only why you was going to school.
Exactly. Yeah.
Money. And I want to give I guess Avery his props because when Avery left, we sat down and we talked. We was both at work, and we was thinking like, man, we need to make some more money. And we was like, I want to go to school because we thought that was the only avenue to transfer from the little money that we made to make more money. And Avery was like, we was both like, but I don't want to pay. And Avery went home. I don't know what clicked. I'm gonna go to the Navy, and then I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna go to school for free, and I'm gonna become a PT. I said, that's it, Avery. That is it. And that's what he did. That's what he did. But that's the key. We was just trying to transition. It's how do you make more money? And the avenue that our parents were taught that did work was to go to school and get it, and that would make you more money. It's not sufficient no more for this era.
And then even still, like, if you plan on having kids or you have kids now, it changes again because, like, I watched a video the other day, they got robots that's doing the jobs of facilities and janitors now, whatever, cleaning toilets and sinks and stuff like that. Like, and they're slowly transitioning into like fast food work and stuff like that. And it won't be long until it steps right into the medical field. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might have a primary surgeon, but those surge techs and stuff, passing the tools and doing the incisions, that you could be looking at a robot. It might sound crazy now, but it's closer than we think. Like, you know what I mean? So like when you factor that in, like for me, I just always think like, how can I get on the same side as the world is advancing or whatever, where I can put myself at to where I'm in the mix or whatever. Like you need to be, if you're not already, like you got to have some part to play in technology because it's never going to stop. Like we're just going to keep advancing.
No, really.
That's why banks are so scared of crypto, like or whatever, like like digital currencies and stuff like that or whatever. Like we're just going to keep advancing. That technology, it scares them, especially if you've been doing something this way for hundreds of years or whatever, and you say you're gonna come in here, I got a better way of doing it, and we don't need no middleman. All right, so moving forward into our next topic, right? This always gets people blood boiling a little bit because everybody got their own like idea and belief on this. But do you believe your appearance plays a role in your success?
I think, yeah, because it gives you, yes, because first of all, you have to have a different mindset. everybody who dresses, you know, in an elite way or have a certain outfit on or don't have a certain outfit on, keeps their haircut or doesn't their haircut, it brings a certain type of mindset. So without that mindset, you don't get that type of person. This lady, she used to talk. I used to talk to this lady. She always talked about her husband, and he had money. Her ex-husband had a bunch of money, and I'm curious, and I was like, well, do you think you can hide money? Like, do you think if you have money, can you hide it? You can't hide it. You can't hide the fact that you have a bunch of yeah, or have a lot of wisdom. It's some stuff that you think you can hide, you can't. The reason why I say you can't hide it is because either your shoes would be always clean, you would have pretty teeth, your hair would always be cut. You don't have to have the best clothes on, but it's going to be some type of cleanness about you. And I'm talking about the majority. Cleanness on you that's going to demonstrate, oh, this person got money. I was watching, I think, Dexter, and they were going over the person that had got killed. And I was like, oh, this person has some type of money because he has dental work. His dental work is done. And I thought that back in the day, it was so expensive to get teeth work done.
Yep, sure was.
Now, everybody has straight teeth.
Yep.
But it still costs money. You still got to have some type of money to have your teeth worked on. So, yes, it's important to dress, to be successful at how the way you dress, because you have to have a certain type of mindset to go with that.
I like that.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Jonathan said. I think it's not necessarily what you look like, but more prestige. I don't know what the hell I was thinking yesterday, but I Googled this. And I Googled how to become unelite. They say the elite run the world. How to become one. Some people could change that to how to become elite, which simply means that you're a master of one's craft. I wanted to be a master of the universe. Here's what Reddit said. There are three types of people in this world: employees, businessmen, and entrepreneurs. Employees work for money. Businessmen have people work for money, and entrepreneurs have money that work for them. The ruling class is entirely entrepreneurial. Understand the difference between investment and risk, and voting in large helps by lobbying. And then if you go down further, it says only little people pay taxes. Most of the entrepreneurial people or businessmen find ways to make taxes work for them to their advantage. And then it gets further down and it said, think of your 5 closest people. If you multiply those 5 closest people and divide by 1 or by 5, that becomes your income within 10 to 5%. And then last but not least, what Jonathan said, impressions count. Nobody knows you from Adam. If you wear a suit well, have manners, and don't make an ass of yourself, it would be assumed that you belong. But the second that you act out of place, they will out you. And that's simply prestige. If you walk around and hold yourself to a certain standard, someone will call you a young man. If you act ignorant and act out of place and act accordingly, someone will call you a fool. So I think by and large in today's society, not the ones that our grandmothers and grandfathers grew up in, you can be anything that you want in this world if you carry yourself with a certain prestige and surround yourself with it.
Well said, young man.
Yes, sir. You covered the whole show right there.
Mr. Austin.
Chris, what you think?
Perception is well, initial perception is key. I mean, we know that. It's like that they done an experiment, I guess, either 2 people walking in the bank or something of that nature trying to get a loan, and basically same dude, same credit score, one dude just this way, one dude just that way, and the interaction, of course, off perception was different. So I can't say appearance is plays a part, but I don't think it's the end all be all. But it's always that hey, look good, feel good, hey, I can't do this. It gives you it radiates off your body. I'm 50-50 with the
So when you
appearance.
so when you say it ain't the end all be all, right, you saying I need to do what I need to play the part to get in the position, and then when I get in the position, I can move differently. Is that what you mean by that?
Tell the truth, Chris. We know what you want to say. Tell
Yeah,
the
I'm
truth.
trying to.
Tell the truth.
I mean, not move differently. The core views. Listen, you can have on goddamn Armani suit or some Bugle Boy on. The core views, the core. Like, let's be clear. So the appearance is not it, but like I'm saying, it's like in a particular setting. Like if I'm at a black tuxedo ball, I'm not gonna wear my cutoff shorts and Nike blazers. Like I'm going to. I'm going to integrate myself into the
But if you
situation.
do,
Oh,
if you do, and it's two of y'all, should I base my decision of hiring you off of you showing up like that?
you shouldn't, but but it's reality.
I think I should.
Oh, hey, you're entitled. Like I can't, you're entitled. You're entitled to that.
Do you
Like,
think the
I
world
might want to put on a Nike tracksuit that day, but that doesn't mean I'm not knowledgeable.
do you think the world judges based off perception, or you think the world is simply biased because of how you look without even getting to know who you are as a person? Do you think the world favors prejudgment, or is it more perception?
Uh, I can give a prejudgment because even then, like sometimes they're like, "Hey, where you from? Or are you from the island?" Say the island. Wait, I'm from goddamn. Wait, I'm from goddamn Brooklyn. I just want to take the lady. They from a fucking island. I ain't get it. I wasn't trying to get offended. I mean, shout out to the island, Burna Boy. But I'm not. That's not my culture. Like I would love to go, but that's not. I know I look like a roster because I like my hair like this, that shit. But that's not who I am. I can perpetrate like, but that's like I said, that's a preconceived notion before I open up my mouth and I get to start talking. Oh, he is from the South. He's from Texas.
Yeah,
But the initial perception is that you got to be from Church Caicos or something. I'm like no,
yeah,
I just like my hair this way.
yeah. I get the same thing. Like I go around some brothers, or like definitely some black women. Like I remember it was a story. It's like, man, you from the suburbs? I said, hell no, I ain't from no suburbs. Only if you knew. I said, man, I'm out
I
here.
would regret that, man.
I said, man, I cut my teeth on the streets. They said, man, where you from? I said, Brookshire, Texas. He said, Brookshire, Texas. I said, yeah,
So hold
moved in there. I said, I just know how
Yeah,
to look like where I
that's
belong.
just a way like another culture complimenting you. They just don't know it, you know?
on.
Um,
Yeah.
like so I think appearance is definitely funny. It's definitely important, right? Like and I think it has to be transitions to it. Like it's like you just gotta read the room and know your environment.
Hmm.
Me, I'm gonna carry like my southern personality with me everywhere I go. But I know it's rooms where it needs to be toned down. So for me to get what I need out of the room, whether it's something physically or mentally or whatever, it's just the way. It's just the way of life. I don't think for us, I think it's hard for men, especially black men, is that sometimes we can get caught up in a mindset of like uh it's related to because of the color of my skin or whatever. When it might not be. Most of the time, it's a class thing attached to it or whatever. Like you getting judged more of class than you are the color of your skin. That's not to say people are not out here being racist or whatever, but most of it is just like a class thing or whatever. Like, I've had experience where I done went in the rooms with the higher up people and like I've had on the suit and stuff like that, and they be shocked. They like, you from Houston? What part or whatever? And I tell them what part, and then you just see their eyes get big or whatever because they don't expect me to say from the poverty part or whatever. They thought you know, oh, I got a friend from Katy. It's like, nah, I'm not from there or whatever. That we don't even consider.
I'm more towards the loop. You know
Yeah,
that.
and they don't even most time because you know most people don't. I don't even tell people like I'm from Acres Home because they don't even know. Like you know what I mean. I just say Houston because people they don't know those areas, man. You know what I mean. So like, and then if they do know, they just like really. You know what I mean. So
Listen, Frank, watch your wallet.
Yeah, that's how I mean. I think it's definitely important. So I always like the Deion Sanders phrase he used while he played the game of football, right? So look good, feel good, play good. I might got that kind of backwards.
Hold on. Don't mess up my favorite phrase. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good.
There you go.
You get me now.
There
I
you
tell
go.
my wife that all the time.
And I feel like
Don't be out here.
Yeah, and that's all correlated. Like I like it's endorphins that go off like when you take care of yourself, like or whatever. Like I don't know if y'all ever went and got a nice crispy haircut or whatever, or a lineup or something like that or whatever. You feel a little different when you go out the door. Like it's just something about taking care of yourself or whatever, like just personally or whatever. Like it's just upkeep thing. Like I'm big on that type of stuff. Like I'm really big into like colognes and stuff like that or whatever. Like my wife always says, "Why you gotta put cologne on to go to sleep or whatever?" I gotta look at yeah, I've arrived. Okay, like and it's just me or whatever. Like,
boy, you ain't doing nothing. I got some cologne that shut you down, boy.
Hey,
boy, I shut you down, boy.
Hey, send it to me. You know what I mean? Like, send it
I
to
said
me.
you shit.
But like, I like all that for me, all that ties in or whatever. Like sometimes, like it's not what you say in a room, is how you show up. You know what I mean? Like it's recognizable among people or whatever. Like I think appearance is a big thing or whatever. Like for me personally, I just personally don't want to walk out the house any kind of way. I tell you stuff that kind of like irks me or whatever, like or whatever. Like I hate to see dudes leave the house with pajama bottoms on, like the pajama bottoms that you never supposed to leave out the house with. They wearing them with their Jordans and with a t-shirt. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, come on, like, you gotta look a little bit. I understand you just going to the corner stuff, but come on, bro. Like, and maybe that's just me getting old. I don't know. Like certain stuff like that just tick me off. Like
This like pajama bottom.
yeah, for real, bro. Come on, man. You got on Christmas pajama bottoms. Come on, man.
You gonna be real mad at me,
come on, man. It's the middle of the summer. Come on, man.
Nah, man. If it's before 11 a.m., I'm sliding them bad boys on. Got plaid pajama bottoms on. I'm going to get couple monsters, couple Red Bulls, y'all in the water. Looking at you like, what you looking at? Mind your business.
Right, with a beanie on.
Right.
With a beanie
on.
Drinking an espresso at Starbucks. Come on, man.
Mind your business. I'm quitting.
This is a well-rounded individual here.
I'm expressing myself. I'm really
the boys well-rounded. The boys well-rounded.
All right. So to go into our last topic, right? So with the recent incidents with NBA star Ja Morant, who should we be holding responsible for his actions? And could this be avoided? If so, how?
I'll let y'all do it.
Look, everybody deflected. Jonathan, lead the way, brother.
Okay. They always use the phrase, "Am I my brother's keeper?" With that being said, everybody that is involved should be held accountable. NBA, because that's who he's, working for. Mm-hmm. All those people around him that's been in the league for a long period of time should have told him. Shannon Sharp did his thing. He went on there and told him. I don't know if his parents told him. The community as a whole, but that's how they look at us. They look at us as goofies. Let me get this young man all his money. But plus, how you think he gonna act? He ain't never had that much money before. The influences around him, you got to protect people who make a lot of money at a young age and surround yourself with people who you love and around people who already had money to understand how to dress yourself or how to maneuver in certain environments. You don't even need you got that much money, because you shouldn't be going nowhere where they trying to harm you. I don't even like going to spots where they have to pat you down. Last time I went to a brunch and they patted me down, I was so pissed off. I was like, why am I even here? Because I'm too valuable for that. I don't even make a bunch of money, but in my head, I was like, I shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to play that when I was younger. I'm older now. I'm not putting myself in nobody's way.
Mm-hmm. So
So
Jonathan, you said
he was like, what you need a pistol for?
you said that like the community, everybody should play a part, right? Do you think he's like receptive to receiving feedback?
Receptive or not receptive. He listened to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like earlier, everybody listened to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that right person didn't say anything, but like, what? Where could you be going that you need a pistol for? And then keep the pistol. Act a fool and keep the pistol. But why put it on the ground? Like, why are you recording yourself doing foolishness? That's what I don't get. Why are you telling on yourself? That's the era now. That's what they really did when they made Instagram. It's like, man, let me get it so they can tell on themselves and we can just make a fool out of it.
So
And
what
they
you,
just
so what you're saying is y'all really do like snitching when we was talking about
yeah,
snitching.
exactly. Like they just uh yeah, we touched on it a little bit and we didn't go there, but I feel like the world painted us in a certain way. And that's why people look at us strange because black, the media portrays us in a certain way. They can cut and edit and do what they want to a video,
Mm-hmm.
put it out in the world, and everybody look at us like, man, nah. That's why other cultures tell their women to stay away from us. So when you talk about dress well, like that's the perception of us. We're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
We're ignorant. We're fools. Look at this. Look how they acting. Why would you want to be with a man like that? That's hurtful. And then, but that's the things we have to go through as a black man. You got to wake up to a world to where they look at you as a monster or as something less than.
So I'll spin it. When I think about like Kevin Hart has a team. He's black.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Johnson, Samoan, and black. When Shannon asked him, said, "Man, you can wiggle out of a lot of situations. If you didn't want to, like they look at you, and you'll be okay in certain hostile environments. What do you define yourself as?" But he has a team, and LeBron has a team. One, I hope to have a team as well, because it takes a village and a community to make sure you do the right things. A prime example would that be, I might say something outlandish on Avery's podcast, and then my team get back to me and say, "Hey, Rick, you can't say that no more because it may affect or offend a certain community." Then I take into consideration of what my team says. I can't put myself in John Morant's shoes because he's what, 22, 23. Man, at 23, I had a red and black Infinity, two-tone Infinity on 22-inch rims, looking for the chicks and skipping class.
5% tint on headlights.
5% tint. I was breaking all the rules. So I mean, his rules that are being broken are magnified on a larger scale because of the advancement of technology. But I will say it does take a village, and it boils down to what his team has. So I would definitely like say going forward, I would have a legal team, advisory team, PR team, and before I do something, run it through them and say, hey, is this cool? How's this affected my brand? And then also talk with those team members and have meeting with those team members and say, what do I want? And how is this going towards projecting towards what I'm trying to obtain? Now, if he's not trying to do any of those things, then, then that's okay. He's John Moran. He can do what he wants. But if it were me and I actually wanted the 200 million, then those some of the precautions I would take. But if it just depends if that's what he truly wants. So I can't sit up here and scold another human being if I don't know what that human being truly wants. But I do wish him well. I do hope he recovers. Gilbert Arena said some interesting things and say, right now he's going to go through the ringer because it's just like when Gilbert Arenas did some things and, they labeled him a bad person and it took a while for him to recover and sustain a respectable image. It's just something that you got to go through, man. I wish him well, and I hope that he recovers. But at the same time, what is he recovering from? Only he knows. So um, I wish that brother the best.
Chris, what do you think about your boy?
I
Y'all kind of look alike.
boy, as I say, uh, I don't know. I like what you were saying, bro. Like you said, being at that age of 22, 23, and it's like I don't know. And I just don't want to say because like, what would Chris Austin be doing with 200 million at 22, 23? Like, what would I be doing? Like, I know what I was doing 22, 23 with a $4,000 overpayment.
Hmm.
So, so I can't. I'm trying to, say like, Avery, remember Avery? I used to say, bro, man, if I ever get money, I'm gonna do this and do that. And you always hit me with, how you know? I'll be like, man, I'm still gonna be the same person. I'm gonna be this and that. But okay, but when you get it, how do you know? I'll be like, this motherfucker always want to play devil's advocate. And goddamn it, I told this nigga the core of me gonna be the same. But how do you know? And I was like, and I'm trying to put myself in like, you said for life.
Hmm.
It is like, damn. Well, I've done it, so I'm sure you feel like you're untouchable. You're the face of the league, damn near the face of the league. LeBron on the way out, so three people really fighting for the face of the league right now. So it's like I get it, but I just wouldn't be doing this stuff. Just don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't. I'm
Do
trying
you
to be
think the
empathetic.
amount,
I'm trying to be
do you think
empathetic.
the amount of money he's making so early in his career is influencing his actions?
No. They got class. They don't say it a lot, but they finally are starting to put things in place. They got classes for financial classes, how you should behave, like all of that. Like you have, it's not just basketball practice. Like they have environments and classes that you can go to, or that they put them through before they even become an NBA player. So he was taught, like, they gave you the manual. It's just like orientation. They have an orientation to the NBA.
Hmm.
We don't see it. We don't
Right.
know but they do have an orientation. So he was taught something. And no, it's not the amount of money that you're making. Cause I can't understand it. Like I don't know.
No, now I'm with you. I can't either. I'm at a dilemma too, because when I look at like rest in peace, when I look at Kobe Bryant, who came out of high school, 18 years old,
Come on.
like the
And
mindset is different. Like,
any of them.
you know what I mean? Drafted by the Hornets. He said, I can't play for them because I need to play for a team that want to win a championship. Like the mindset of just him as a person is just different. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't picture him doing that. I'm not saying he didn't think about it or something like that or whatever, but to actually act on the stuff that John Moran is doing or whatever, it's just like, I don't know. Like, and even like I'm thinking back, right? So like I'm trying to put myself into 23-year-old Avery's shoes.
Ooh, that was a dangerous man.
I don't know. Like I was still like even with the things that was going on around and with me or whatever. Like I don't know if I would publicize it though. Like I don't know. Like I just would have been moving differently. I don't know. But I guess like you don't know unless you in that person's shoes. Um, do y'all think that could be a sign for help?
I mean, I always say like, if I see a family member going through something where they just blatantly sabotaging their future,
Mm-hmm.
I would administer counseling. And I'm not talking about like go sit on a therapist couch. I'm talking about spiritual healing, like a Reiki healer, juice retreat, spiritual retreat, no Wi-Fi signal, and just get to the bottom of it where like they say grape jelly and you bust out cry for 10 years, like for 10 minutes straight, because that one word triggered you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of spiritual retreat to where it's like, what's causing me to do these actions. But at the same time, you got to look at this in perspective. Like, if it took 5 years of abuse, it takes 10 years of healing. We don't necessarily know what this gentleman's going through or what transpired for him to even, be triggered to start doing these type of things. And how long has that gone on? Was it a year? Was it 6 months? Was it 5 years? So, that could be like a long time to where he says, you know what, I'm comfortable to accept this challenge and onus and responsibility. So,
And I think a great thing you made it. That's a good point, Ricky. And then I think another thing we're good at is with humans. We are able to sometimes take our pain and put it in our gift and let it accept and let it elevate us in a sense or whatever. And so I think he could have been doing that through basketball. Um, he have reached what people consider the peak as far as what you can do from a professional standpoint, as far as like reaching the NBA or whatever. And so he may be trying to find different avenues of that pain he probably been dealing with to showcase it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish your viewers could have seen a young, spiraling 22, 23-year-old Avery Western. That was the time to be alive. I seen this man. I seen this man give my homegirl the backpack and say, "We're gonna go find you, young man." They don't remember. I'm sorry. We still live. I'm sorry. I can't share this story. Sorry. Sorry about that. Ooh, what a time to be alive. Growth.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. I was not there.
Yeah, I really do hope he turns it around though. Like I mean, we kind of covered it all. Like we don't know what it's like to be 23 years old, and I don't even know how big his contract is off the top of my head or whatever. But he's in the
And maybe there's pressure too, as you mentioned that. Maybe there's a lot of pressure. Maybe
yeah.
he don't want to be the face. Maybe he just wanna, hey, I just want to be in the NBA, get a championship. Maybe it's a lot of pressure being the face.
Yeah.
And LeBron, maybe LeBron just kind of just extraordinarily well. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I want him to though, man, because I'll keep it real, man. Like, he's the most explosive and exciting player that I could look forward to watching. I
Yeah.
love Joker, but I don't want to see no drop step,
He better
kill,
not get
post up
another
style.
Joker better not get another MVP.
No, if he doing this thing and he averaging triple doubles and stuff like that, but
It's
man,
not
Jason
exciting,
Tatum,
okay? It's
I love
not
you,
exciting, Rick.
but you run away from the big lights. And DJ, I wish you was on today because I'll let you have it about your boy JT. But I love
And I
John
know why he
Morant.
ain't get on because he didn't want me to talk about his boy Terrence Crawford today because I was gonna tell him
Oh
about
man. Well, I love John Morant's game and his ability, and I really do hope he puts it together because, like, man, he is really good and could be a great face and ambassador for the league whenever he feel like he wants to. Because
it. Hmm.
I watch a Grizzlies game every single night, and I never visit Memphis because there ain't shit to do out there for me.
Hmm.
But just this brother and just he just oozes star-studded potential and talent.
Yeah.
And, it's a spectacle to see. And hopefully he's an even better person, so that they not only know him as an athlete, but they get to know him as a human.
Hmm.
And that's why I say I feel like I won't judge him nor anybody because I don't want him to be viewed as just an athlete. I want him to be viewed as just a human. So maybe that's what all of this is about as well. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, bro, it's an interesting thing, and I think Spence is gonna take that fight.
You think so? He better.
Yeah, I think Spence is
Texas
gonna take it.
on. Texas on.
Spence
Okay,
is gonna
so
take that
boom,
fight.
you talking about being the face of the league,
Hmm.
and like he is probably one of the most exciting, more exciting players. So boom, is that why they didn't super push Kyrie? Because like it's like, eh,
I never saw
Kyrie's
Kyrie
excited, but I don't
face of the
want
league though.
to.
Well,
Huh?
I mean, so say for
But you don't
instance,
want to put a microphone in front of him though at the same time
so
either.
yeah, like I say, a face of the league, it's not only being marketable, it's you may receive preferential treatment, you may get asked more interview questions after the game, you may receive more branding opportunities, and how does all of that align with your personality with this company's vision?
Hmm.
So, and that's why I say, like, just seeing him doing a shootout on some of these Gatorade or shoe commercials and just showing up in like these dark alleys with low lighting, like his image and energy goes really well with these other brands, destination. And I couldn't sit up there and watch a Nike where a Nike commercial where Joker pulls up at 5 a.m. and he's shooting jump shots. I'm sorry, I'm gonna change the channel. But if Ja Morant pull up and he's bumping like the latest trap music, and he mugs the camera, that draws my attention. He reminds me similar of something what AI would do. Only this dude is leaping over LeBron and AD if they want some. So
And I think it'll be exciting because like I'm always for the smaller, versatile player to become the face of the league. Most of the time they normally pick a bigger player, so it will be interesting to see him step into that role.
I hope he gets it together, and we'll see, man. But if not, then he had one hell of a run anyway, to make it this far.
Yeah.
I'm not a caster, but I pay attention to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't last long. And the reason why I say it won't last long, because dunkers don't last long in the league. According to my experiences in my lifetime and what I've seen, people who be skying out of the gym dunking like he do, and he be trying to embarrass people.
Mm-hmm.
Like one little foot, knee, in to knock him off, and that's not going. That you ain't gonna have no more Morant because you can't play now.
Shout out to
you gotta get that jumper. You gotta get that jumper.
Yeah, you gotta something wet. That's why I love Curry so much. He gonna be playing for a long time because you can't stop that. And I'm going to bring it back.
Hey,
look,
Rick,
I say, universe, go and do your thing.
Hold on, you done pushed the button, took that man off.
Like I said, universe, go and do your thing. Yeah,
Hey, what say? Steph Curry.
Yeah.
It's LBJ over here, man. But nah, Curry's a phenomenal player, man. I think it's crazy, like to see his growth. Because I watched the 2016 series yesterday. It was about 34 minutes. I said, man, Steph Curry really did look like a baby around that time, but at the same time, he was able to market himself. A player
that was
who
one
was
of the
extremely
That was one of the most exciting series ever, man. That's the one
that was it. That was probably the best one.
3-1 series, yeah.
Oh my God. That man scored 40 points, 3 games straight. Like that man was awesome, man. Yes.
Yeah. It's just get that Curry business out of here though, man. Universe gonna do your thing,
Let me go.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in for another episode of Coffee and Cigar Talk. And we out.